Okay, here is a new type of control, a list box. So till now we've been using labels, text boxes, and all that type of controls where we display different text or we can input different type of text. Now a list box is similar to that. It displays a list of choices from which the user can select um, 0, meaning the user cannot select, or actually select one or more choices. So, and the way it looks like, it basically looks like a, a large text box, if you will, containing a lot of text in a list format. So, and so it looks like that. It has a collection of choices which you can select or just look at. So, and that's defined by the selection mode property, which for a list box controls the number of choices a user can actually select. Sometimes you just want to display a lot of items or choices. I mean, if you cannot select anything, it's not a choice. So if you just want to list a number of things and just make the user look at it and not do anything with it, then you can have the selection mode property to none, so that it's basically used as an output instead of any sort of input. So the user can scroll down and see what the different items are. You can actually have the user select only one choice, and then you use the selection mode property of 1. And you can also have multiple choices being selected by the users. And so this is the multi-simple or the multi-extended property. In the multi-simple, you just keep on clicking whichever choices you want to select one by one, and each choice gets added. And if you want to deselect, you just click on that choice again. And in multi-extended, you have to hit Control or Shift if you want to make multiple choices. So you have to keep on pressing the Control or Shift button if you want to have more than one choice. And it's very similar to what you do when you're selecting more than one file or folder in Windows Explorer. There's also a sorting property which determines if the list box items or the items inside the list box should be or should not be sorted. And the sorting happens in dictionary order or alphabetical order from A to Z. Now in other controls like the text boxes and labels, we just play around with it by controlling the text within these sort of controls, by accessing the text property of the text box or the label. Now a list box contains a lot of text in a list format, so it's not as easy to access all the text or a certain list or a certain item within a list box. And these bunch of text, like each list or each item in the list, is basically what we can access or what we can add to. And again, this list box is a collection of items, and each line of text within the list box is called an item, and each item can be accessed, or multiple items can be accessed within a list box. You can also add and remove items from a list box, and these items again are there like strings. They're text which you can add one by one or together, and you use the add method to add item. So basically item dot add, and then in parentheses your string. And there's also this load event. So list boxes, unlike the click event, they have this load event, and this happens whenever an application is started and the form is displayed for the first time. So as an application is about to run, the list box is being built. So there's no clicking, it's just an automatic thing happening. Here is an example of how to code your list boxes. So you see the list box on top and the code at the bottom. The syntax is also given, so it starts with your list box name, and then how to add is listbox name dot items dot add, and then in brackets whatever item or string you want to add to the list box. So in the left hand side list box, you have the name animal list box, and how you add it, you do animal list box dot items dot add, so basically add an item, and in parentheses the name of the item, which is dog, cat and horse. And once you write these 3 lines of code, your list box on the left hand side will be appearing. For the right hand side, you see we have used a loop here to display all that. So we want to display the numbers from 100 to 105 in a certain list box. So it's dim. First we define the variable, the basically it's like a counter variable, and it starts from 100. So define code, which is the counter variable, is an integer with the initial value of 100, and then while code is less than equals to 105, run the loop. And what it does, it keeps on adding the number assigned to code after converting it into a string. So you have the code list box dot items dot add, and in parentheses code dot toString. So the number inside code is converted to a string and then added to the list box. So it starts with 100, converts it to a string, then adds it to a list box, increments it by 1, makes it 101, does the whole loop again. It sees that 101 is less than 105, so convert it to a string, add it to the list box. Similarly, you get 102, 3, 4, 5, and at the end of 5 you get 6, and it checks that 106 is greater than 105, so the condition is not met, so that's where it stops. Now this code list box is shown on the top right of the list box diagram or the list box picture, and you see it only has 100, 101 and 102. It doesn't show 104 and 5 because it's not tall enough, and that's why you see the scroll bars on the side, and that's where you can scroll down to see the remaining of those numbers.